Welcome to Engineers Academy. Subscribe to my channel and click on the bell icon to receive the notification for the upcoming videos. Today in this lesson we are going to learn break and continue statement. So first we will discuss the break statement. So the break statement, what break statement does is that it jumps from the for loop before the loop variable reaches its terminating value. So I have written this script file as an example. So what this script file does is that it takes the square root of x and stores that values in y. But it will terminate if the x value reaches negative value. If the x value becomes negative, so then it will stop this for loop, right? So what this will does is that we have initiated the for, and this k is the loop variable. So k is the loop variable, and initially it will set the k value to 1. So here it will set the k value to 1, and then it will find the x value using this equation. So when k is equal to 1, so then for the first value of x will be what? That will be 49. So 49 is positive, so it will not enter this if statement. So then it will directly end this if statement. This is the if statement. This is the if structure. So then it will not enter the if statement, and then it will take the under the root of this 49. So then it will store the 49 under the root value in this y, right? So then again it will loop, and the k value will increment, and this time it will be, for the second time, the x value will be 50 minus k to the power 2. So the k value is 2 now. So 2 to the power 2. So when in the second pass of this for loop, the x value will be what? 50 minus 4. So it will be 46. So still it is positive. So then it will not enter the if statement, and it will take the under the root of this 46 value. So then it will the for loop will continue its looping until and unless the value of x becomes negative. So if I put the k value equal to 8 in this statement, so what will happen? So then the x value will be 50 minus 8 to the power 2, which is equal to 50 minus 64. So then that will be minus 14. So when the k values become 8, the x value become negative, and then it will enter this if statement, and then what it will do, it will display on screen that break, let's terminate for loop. I have written this statement, so it will be displayed on the screen, and then it will also print for loop ended at %d th pass. So then it will print that for loop ended at 8th pass. So whatever pass is that, so it will tell us that pass for which the for loop has been terminated. So now let's run this script file in the MATLAB. So let me put a breakpoint here, and let me run this section. So we see that when this statement executed, so the x value is 49, and now we are here in the if statement. So the 49 value is not less than 0, so then it will jump directly to this end. So if I step in, so see that the arrow jumps to the y is equal to square root x. So it directly jumped to the y value. So then if I step in, so it will take the under the root and store that in the y value. Then if I step in again, so see that this arrow will come here, and then it will update the x value. So if I step in, so the x value is updated. Now it's 49, right? And again the 46 is not less than 0, so again it will take the square root. So if I step in, right, so again now the x value is updated, 41, it will take square root, again updated, will take square root, again updated, and it will take square root again updated, and it will take square root, again updated. This time the x value is 1, it will take square root, the y value is 1, and now we see that the next updated value of x is negative. So then we are in the if statement. So then this time it will enter this if statement. So it will display this line, break, let's terminate for loop. So if I step in, so then it has printed on screen that break, let's terminate for loop. and the next line is that it will also print for loop ended at whatever pass that is, so it will write that. So it says that for loop ended at 8th pass, right? So in the 8th pass, when the k value is 8, so the for loop has been terminated using this break statement, and now the arrow is in front of the break statement. So if I run this, if I step in, so then it ended the complete for loop, right? So we are here, and this arrow, downward arrow, shows that the for loop has been terminated, right? Now let me change this equation. Now if I change this equation at 3, so then the loop will terminate at some other value of k, right? So now if I run this, so we see that now the number of loop has been decreased, and it says that the for loop ended at 4th pass, right? So if I increase it to k to the power 4, so then the number of passes will decrease, so we will quickly reach to the negative value. So if I run this again, so see, the for loop ended at 3rd pass, right? So I hope you people would have understood this break statement, and the break statement only terminates that for loop in which this break statement has been written. If the structure is nested for loop, so then it will terminate that for loop in which the break statement is written, right? So keep this in mind. Now we will discuss the continue statement. So the continue statement passes control to the next iteration. So it passes the control to the next iteration of the for or while loop. It works for both in which it appears. So if it increments the k value and doesn't execute the remaining statements in the body of the loop, so it passes the control to the next iteration. So in other words, we can say that it skips some of the iteration of the for loop. And in nested loops, continue passes control to the next iteration of the for or while loop in closing it, right? So if the structures are nested for loops, so it will skip the iteration of that for loop in which it has been written, right? So let's suppose I have this example. So what this example will do is that it will take the logarithm of the x value of positive values. It will skip the log to the base 10 of the negative value. So it will not take the log of those values which are negative. So then what I have done here is that I have generated a matrix X of random values between -20 and +20, and it is a row vector of order 1 cross 10, right? So we have generated a matrix, and then we have generated another matrix, that is y equal to NaN. NaN means that not real values, so NaN multiplied by x, so it will be a y matrix of the same order of x. So initially it will have 10 elements, and that will be not real values. So it will be like this: y NaN NaN, and it will be written 10 times. So then what we will do is that I have initiated here a for loop. So the k, it's the loop variable, so the loop variable will be set to 1, and it will run until the length of x. So the length of x is 10. So the total number of loops is 10, right? The total number of passes that this for loop will execute is 10, right? So then it will print on the screen x%d is %d. So it will write x of 1 is %d, and it will show us that the x of 1, whatever will be the initial value, x of 1 value, so it will display that on screen. And then what it will do is that it will check if x of k is less than 0, so then it will continue, it will skip the remaining statements. These remaining statements will be skipped if the value is negative, right? So it will continue, and after this continue, it will directly come to this for loop. So it will not allow this for loop to run these two statements, right? And if the x value is positive, so then it will work as normally, so it will not enter this for loop, and then it will execute these two lines, right? And then it will increment the k value, and so on, right? So let's try this in MATLAB. So if I put a breakpoint here and I run it, so we see that now initially we are here, we have generated the x random matrix row vector, and I have suppressed it, so it will not be visible here, right? Now we are here, so it will set the k value to 1, and if I step in, so it will show that x of 1 is -10. So we have produced a random matrix. We do not know the value the first value of x, but this command line tell us that the x of 1, that random matrix first value is -10. So right, so this f print f x%d, x%d, I have written that this %d will be replaced by k, and this %d will be replaced by the x of k value, x of 1 value, right? And then it will jump to next line, right? So now we are in if statement. So yes, this is negative value, so then it will continue, right? So it will not, you people will see that this arrow will not come here, it will directly come to this for loop after this end, right? So if I step in, so we see we looped into the for loop, and these lines were not executed, right? So now the k value is 2, and if we check, x of 2 is -14, it is also negative, so again it will enter the if loop, and it will say that I will continue, and then it will end, and then again it will loop again. So if I step in, right, so it has printed on the screen continue. I have written this statement, f print f continue. This tell us that I am in the if loop. So if I step in, right, so now we see that x of 3 is -9, again it's negative value, so then it will print continue, then it will check again. X of 4 is also -2, right? So again it will continue, and x of 5 is 1, so it's positive. Now the fifth value of the random matrix x is 1, that is positive, so it will not enter this if statement, and then it will execute these two values. And now k value of k, this will be k value, so it will, if I step in, right, so we see that the k values initially, when these values were skipped, so k values were storing 0, 0, 0 and 0, and now when the fifth value of the x is positive, so it has stored that value in this k value, that is the fifth value, right? So MATLAB has indented this k value by 4 zeros, and then wrote that final value for which the x value is positive, right? So here we have written this statement that k value 5, right? So the fifth value of k value 5 is equal to 5. So what MATLAB will do is that it will put 4 zeros before 5, right? And then it will take the log of that value, right? So the log of 1 is what? The log of 1 is, this is the fifth value, 1, 2, 3, 4th and 5th. So the fifth value of y has changed from nan, not real, to 0 value. So the log to the base 10 of 1 is 0, right? So if I step in again, it will tell us that x of 6 is -2. So still it is negative, so it will continue, right? Then it will step again. X of 7 is 15, so it's positive, right? So now what it will do, it will not print the continue, it will not come here. So then what it will do, it will write k value of what? K value of 7. So it will, the seventh value of k will be equal to 7. So let's see, if I step in, so we see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now if I step in again, so then we are at the end line. So again I will step in, so again we are still in the for loop, so then it will print again. So see, x of 8 is 1 again, so it's positive, so it will not enter this if statement, and it will not continue. It will store the value of k in the k value. So what is the k value? The k value now is 8, right? So it will write, see, this is after 7, it has the column 8 has 8 value, right? So it is the k value 8 is 8, right? So it has stored that value, and it will take the log to the base 10 of 1. So again it has stored that value here. So here this is the log to the base 10 of 1 is 0, so this is the 8th column, right? So it has replaced this by 0. So now if I step in again, x of 9 is 18, right? So it's positive, so it will not continue. It will store the k value in k value, right? So the 9th element is also positive, so it has stored that variable, that k value. And then if I step in, So it has taken the log to the base 10 of that value. What was that value? That value was 18. So the log of that value is 1.2533. So it has replaced the ninth element of this y by 1.2553. And then if I step in x of 10, so the last element is also positive, that is 6. So if I run, so we see that it has stored that value in the 10th element of this k value. And if I step in, so it will replace this value, this 10th value of y by 0.7882, right? So if I step in again, so the for loop terminates and now it will print x, k value and y. So right, so if I step in, again step in, so now these are the x values, these are the k values, and these are the y values. So let's compare. So this is minus 10, so there is 0 value, so this was skipped. Minus 14, so the k value was skipped. Minus 9 skipped. Minus 2 skipped. 1, this is positive, so that value has been stored in k value. Minus 2 skipped. 15 stored. That 7th value, that 7th k value, loop variable value is stored. Again, this is positive, so 8, 18, 9, 6 and 10. So 5th, 7th, 8 and 9 and 10, these elements of x were positive, right? So these values were stored and these statements were executed. This statement was executed when the k value was 5, 7, 8, 9 and 10, right? And also this statement is executed for these values 5, 7, 8, 9 and 10. For 1, log to the base 10 of 1, log to the base 10 of 15 and 1 and 10, 18 and so similarly we see here that wherever there are 0 values in k value, so that was skipped, right? And here we see that the 5th value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5th value is 1, so the log of this one is 0, right? And then this is 0, the 6th element is negative, right? So again it is not real, and then it hasn't been replaced. And now this is 15, so log to the base 10 of 15 has been stored here, right? And then again we have 1, so log to the base 10 of 1 is 0, and similarly this one and this one, right? So now if you people want to extract those values, only those values of x for which the log values are evaluated, so if you want to store them in some x other value, let's suppose if I store them in capital X, so I can write it like this: x of find, right, and x is greater than 0. So find is very powerful function. So if I execute this, let me copy this. So if I copy it here and if I run this, see, so what it does is that it finds all those indices of x from x for which the x values are greater than 0, and then it extracted those values from x. So 1, 15, 1, 18 and 6. Now if I run this again, so let's see if I run this, so we see that now, and the last line, what the last line does is that it tells us that now 4, 10 and 17 and 11. So now this time the x, another random matrix x was created, so the values, we can see that the first value of x is minus 14, minus 7. So only for the positive values the log to the base 10 are evaluated. Now if you want to extract all those values for which the log to the base 10 has been taken, so what I will do, so I will write this statement. So I will only replace this x by capital Y, so I will store that values of y for which the log has been evaluated, so I want to extract those. So let me suppress this, right, and let me suppress all these. I do not want to display these now, I only want to display the result, right? So we will comment this. Now we cannot suppress this, so we will comment this. We will also comment this, right? So now if I run this, so we can see that this is the random matrix x, minus 6, 7, minus 3. We can see this is the y, that is the log to the base 10 of these x values, these positive x values. So this 7 is positive, so the log to the base 10 of this 7 is 0.8451. This is positive, so this is to log to the base 10 of 14, and so on. And here we can see that we have extracted all those values from x which are positive only using this find function. So when you people write find and then give it the argument that is x is greater than 0, so what it will do is that it will extract, it will tell us this find x greater than 0 tells us the indices of those values of x for which are greater than 0, and then again using x find this, so then it extract those values, and similarly it will extract those values of y which are positive in x, right? So we can see that 7 14 14, so we can see here that 7 14 14 5 3 2 and 15. So we have only extracted those values from x and stored them in capital X, right? And similarly we can see here that log to the base 7, log to the base 10 of 7 is what? That is 0.8451. So we have also extracted the corresponding values from y as well, right? So now if we write it like this as well, so we can write it, I can write it result. So result is equal to, if I write capital X and then semicolon and then I write y, so I will store both the x values and their result, that is log to the base 10 values. The first column will be the x values and the second column will be the base 10, log to the base 10 values. So now if I run this, so here we can see that this is the result, this is 18, so log to the base 10 of 18 is this, is 6, and so on. So I hope you people would have understood this break and continue statement.